The power of this fish was something I haven't experienced before. Just the way he had me pinned to the rail, man, you gotta have some real freaking...
One drop, 320 for the win, first fish on the deck.
So this is our third year in a row going to San Diego hunting bluefin tuna.
We have now deemed this trip to forever be the annual best trip I ever had.
It feels like every time we get off the boat, we've learned something new, something different that we need to do, and this year's no different from the last.
You know, we're prepared and we know what to expect, but there's still so many question marks.
Gear-wise, we gotta bring everything. We're making sure that we have leader all the way from 50 up to about 200-pound fluorocarbon, rods that can handle fish from 40 pounds to 200 pounds, and then reels that can handle fish from all class, including the fact that sometimes we go rock fishing and we need some real lightweight, traditional slow pitch gear.
Fishing is never a guarantee. We've had incredible success coming out here the last 2 years. Really, we were 2 for 2. So although we were hopeful, our expectations were somewhat moderated. This whole thing couldn't have gone down any better than it absolutely did.
One thing about my buddy Will Crane, you could always count on him to find a thrifty, sweet deal for us, and this Airbnb was exactly that. He hit the nail on the head with this huge place that was right on the water at Sunset Cliff, and the view was by far, bar none, the best view we've seen on any of our trips. Right outside our window.
The pressure was on because this year is the first year that we actually private chartered the Polaris Supreme. We had people coming in from Texas, Louisiana, North Carolina, Georgia, and a bunch from Florida, and the pressure was really on to deliver fish for these folks.
So we had a couple days to spend some time and get a little bit of the lay of the land, which was nice because we got to go see some people that are important to us and important to our business. It's go time, boys. I would be lying to you if I said that I wasn't nervous or thinking about anything at all going into Seaforth Landing, because your mind starts racing, you start checking your gear in your head, and you know what? It boils down to one thing. Drop a jig in the water and see what happens. Before you even get on the boat, you gotta check in.
Lindsay was doing our check-ins at the boat, and Aliyar had a very good idea that we were primarily gonna be fishing in Mexico. So everybody that was fishing actually purchased what's called a Mexican excursion license. That cost $100. It's a multi-day Mexican fishing license.
So all of us lined up, we did what we had to do.
We outfitted ourselves with our Mexican excursion license.
Got our gear on the boat, and it was time to set sail.
A lot of responsibility here. Pushing your own cart down to the boat with your gear. And we are now boarding the Polaris Supreme.
We're on a mission for bluefin tuna.
An essential fact of our lives.
Let's get it going.
We're on a mission for bluefin tuna.
Let's do it, boys.
And we will drop jigs to catch fish by any means necessary.
One thing interesting Julian was telling me, which has got my gears turning, is, you know, finicky fish smaller jigs down to 100, 150 grams. Granted, we have to play the depth and the drift speed of the boat
With line diameter.
line, all that stuff. You know, can we get 100, 150 gram jigs down to depth? But I am going to be prepared to attempt to execute that if need be.
And stay vertical. From the depth, stay vertical.
Yeah. One thing I told Julian in response, I will not be floating my jig off the back into the drift. I'm going to be pitching this vertically. So if we can make that happen, we'll give it a go. Otherwise, we'll be on 200s, 250s, 300s if need be.
So we've got a pretty decent steam. We're going to Mexico, which the bluefin tastes better in Mexico. You know why? They're a little bit spicier.
Pulled off the dock at 10 a.m. and we headed out to sea and turned south to go begin our hunt for the bluefin tuna.
The bluefin season hasn't kicked off yet, and from what we were seeing, they were catching 1, 2, 3 fish a trip, and we were concerned.
First off, my name's Aliyar. I'll be your captain. You got Captain Julian, Captain Tanner, Captain Ben, Captain Johnny on deck.
then you got Nestor and David inside the galley. So I saw lots of light jigging rods coming on the boat. That's going to be a problem if we get into the big fish tonight. It's going to be a big problem. Last trip, we saw schools of 100 to 200 pounders. The big thing is, guys, you could probably land a fish that size on jigging rod, but we're going to be stuck for a long time on that one fish. We cannot afford to be stuck for a long time, guys. We had like a 3-hour window where we caught our fish on last trip. And we caught them one night, and the second night, we didn't even see any fish last night. So if we get on schools, we cannot get stuck there for a long time, guys. I'm telling you guys, I loaded the boat and I saw lots of light stuff. That is not going to work, guys. You're going to really mess us up if you go in the water with that stuff. If we get stuck pulling on a fish for 2 hours, you're going to take us out of the game for 2 hours.
We came a long way to get on a fish that maybe we were going to catch. Our hopes were high, but our expectations were low. It's fishing, guys. I know that if there's any boat that can do it, it's going to be Captain Aliyar. It's going to be the Polaris Supreme. He kicked the season off last year, and we're just hoping that he did it this year while we were on the boat.
We chose to do a limited load trip here, so there was a total of 18 anglers actively fishing. Our man Butters, who dropped down a few times, got his first bluefin.
So we steamed for a good 70 miles. It was hours before we actually dropped on our first drift, and nothing.
We've been chasing this school, but as soon as we stop, they're gone. They're moving so fast. There's a couple boats in the area with us right now. So the mate's throwing some sardines. Hopefully I'm gonna try and deploy my jig quickly as soon as we stop.
Second drift, nothing. And all of us are just kind of thinking, oh boy, what did we get ourselves into? The daytime bite just was not happening.
Captain's giving us depths where the fish are at. It says they're pretty thick down there, so I'm counting my line, trying to get it in front of their face. Got a few guys flatlining out the back, so they've got live sardines going out the back, but I'm right where the captain said I should be depth-wise. So I'm really just trying to attract some attention to this jig.
Out the back of the boat. He who casts early ends up back here. I put a 130 flat back on just to try something obnoxiously different.
The fish are here, they're just not chewing at the moment. But the good news is that we're on fish. It seems like the captain will be able to keep up with the school until evening time. And my guess is once the sun goes down, everybody's going to start hooking up. The captain was suggesting to even scale down the jigs to 160 grams. He's saying that the smaller the profile is what they seem to be chewing lately. So a lot of guys are using shorter jigs that are heavy, that have a less profile, not long ones like the torpedoes, but more like our one drops. So that's what we're all kind of switching out to and giving a shot.
What we call this that John and I are doing is pitch jigging. Sure, slow pitch, crank, slow pitch, and then blast away. Fast, moderate speed, right into slow pitch. It's just pitch jigging.
And then nighttime happened, and it was like somebody flicked on a switch. And we had some pre-warnings from Creaky Tiki Dennis. He told us that, guys, it's vampire fishing. Be ready for the night.
It was about 12:15 a.m. when we stopped on our first nighttime school, and the fish chewed immediately. Fish number 1, 17.
Keep going, guys. Get back in the water.
Oh, what we got, Dev? Look at that. Nice one drop. Hey, they were 300 feet. I went a little past 300. I went 9 colors down or 10 colors down, came back up, dropped once or twice. That was a pitch and flutter as per Mr. Doyle. See, one drop, Johnny Jigs one drop. Johnny Jigs hooks tops and bottoms, 320. Pink and blue.
Preferably the hook should be on the bottom.
What happened with the fight on that?
You know what happened with the fight? Look at him! Look at him!
I was so scared. I was so scared.
So I kicked off the first night with our new railer. Ben Seacrest put the Accurate 2 turn in my hand. It's a 600N, and my first couple bites, swing and a miss.
So last drop, I had 2 fish come unglued, but this time, hoping to stick them just a little bit harder, but we did put 6 quality bluefins on the deck. So I just pitched off the bow and I'm counting my line color down. So I'm gonna stop at about 300, which is what the captain said. And I'm just gonna keep doing full cranks and lift. Full cranks and lift.
Under or over, Chris? Under. Go.
Yeah, what's that? This way. Hold on, don't push.
You don't want me to help? Okay.
Are you Brian?
Yeah. Go to the bell, go to the bell.
How'd it feel?
Awesome, dude. Got him on that Johnny Jigs 321 drop in the Katy Perry. Smashed it on the way down. Awesome hookup. Excellent fight. Railer rod got it done.
Yes, baby. Yes. Good hook set. Johnny Jigs hooks. Both top right in through the snout and in the corner of the jaw. The fish was going nowhere. 80-pound test with 65-pound braid. 4-strand Daiwa multicolor. Excellent job by the crew.
What number?
14, sir. Dude, I'm so stoked, man. I love this one. It was awesome, man. Fucking no! Woo! Look out!
Yeah! That's it, man. Big boy. Bluefin Tuna, baby. On the slow pitch. On the slow pitch. Yeah.
This was my first time really experiencing the Accurate Turn 2. And what they did was they put a slow pitch handle on it with a power handle as well. And that was really nice on the rail to be able to have that leverage. Just the way he had me pinned to the rail. Not saying I couldn't handle him, but I could tell you that you need some muscle stamina for these fish. I don't know what you guys in California eat for breakfast. I'm assuming bullets with possibly some barbed wire eggs, but man, you gotta have some real power. You gotta be able to withstand whenever they come up and their head surfaces and they go back down and you realize that it's not over yet and you're kind of like, man. The mates are there, so like anybody who's just coming onto the boat that is new to this or maybe doesn't have the muscle to be able to handle the fish going back down, they'll help you and give you a little bit of breather with the reel. But for me, I gotta fight the fish, you know, and Ben, the mate, who's just a super guy and a great mate, very aggressive guy, he was like, Johnny, you want me to take it for a little bit? You want me to take it for a little bit? And like, in my mind, I'm doing this. No, you know.
Woo! Yes, sir! Wonderful! These fish are so powerful, and I can tell you it does make it harder being on the lighter gear a bit, but the action that I can put on the jig and just being able to do it on the light gear makes it completely worth it for me. Thank you, Ben.
That hot.
Is that a fresh one?
I think the same one. Same one, yeah. It just sucks.
Where's the big one?
Back up the down guy, I'll take it.
3 teaser, 220, 65-pound braid, 80 liter SJ railer, and a not 800 Accurate. Beast mode.
So after that first fish, I put my railer Saltiga 55 down, and I picked up the Accurate Boss Valiant 800 Narrow SPJ. And the key feature that Accurate does for these larger reels that we'll use, slow pitch and pitch jigging for bluefin tuna, is I got a second speed. Dropped that guy down, and my second fish also cleared 100 pounds. I did click into the second speed, you know, on that fish to get it up the last bit of the way, which I was happy to have.
Come on, going towards you. Down, down, down.
Yep, under.
Got him. Yeah, he's a beast.
Look out. Anybody, somebody, anybody.
That was incredible. Here you go, Deb. Get right in there. All in all, I finished that first night with those two fish. One there, 60 to 80. The other one was pushing 120. And I was very happy. There was a lot of people that had one or two.
Holy shit. Let's go!
Woo! That fight took me the entire length of the stop. I don't know, 20, 30 plus minutes. At
30
least.
minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
On a very, very capable rod reel setup. And the help of Julian and Ben, the masters that work here. Dude. Julian, you're the f***ing man. Thank you. It's a monster.
Mr. Matt from the San Diego.
From the San Diego. Look at that thing, got chewed up. Thank you for your life. Not bad. You good? Want to try?
No. Johnny G, it's what for breakfast.
What for breakfast? Lunch and dinner, baby.
There was a few that had 3.
Push jig. Oh.
Push. Yeah. That was a pain. That was painful.
Some of these on the 4 years I've owned this boat.
Got it.
I can't bring them up.
This is better than Christmas right now. This is, you couldn't have gave me a Bentley for this one I'm doing right now. Woo! Dude, fish on, baby. Fish on. Deuces down. Y'all watching it?
He's spinning now. Oh! That was awesome. Wow!
We stopped fishing sometime around 5, 6 a.m. Sun starts to crest a little bit, and that nighttime bite tends to slow down. The chefs are getting ready to serve breakfast, which is usually my cue to go to bed.
So by the end of night 1, we landed 29 fish, 18 of them being from 100 to 150 pounds. And just to kind of put this in perspective for you guys, we only had a few 100-pounders on our previous 2 trips. These fish were beasts for us.
So when the captain is starting to mark fish, he's got a sonar that's picking up 360 degrees around the boat, 450 to 500 feet out. He does an excellent breakdown in our year 1 Polaris Supreme video about him essentially chasing these fish and what he's doing. So as soon as he starts marking a school, he radios to the rest of the crew to start throwing live sardines into the water. Even Captain Aliyar himself said, everyone always does this. Is it 100% effective? I don't know. So if you know anything about kind of chunking live sardines out in the water when you're trying to get on top of a school of bluefin, put a comment in the comment section below about how you believe it's effective or not effective.
Day 2, guys, what can I say? Back to the grind. We would jig, and it just seems like during the day, they were not eating the jig.
Fish got like 60 to 100 pound fish here.
So we've had surface boils. These sardines that they're throwing are getting them up to the surface good, honestly. Jigging my brains out. Throw a little casting jig on a light spinner, you know. Hopefully I get tight to the right size fish. Just called 60 to 100 pound fish. Not on this. So I can get schooled easy with a fish like that. But that's a great way to get a bite. It's been the daytime bite. All the tuna boats that were out yesterday, 0 daytime bites.
I can tell you that the guys who were flatlining out the back were getting a few hookups here and there. But for us guys who like slow pitching, it wasn't happening.
When this boat stops, or when he's marking fish, he's telling these mates to throw out sardines, port, starboard, port. He's tracking how the school is moving. So when he officially stops his drop them, they're throwing sardines. As a guy who's jigging, because we have forward momentum, I want to be on the bow, and I ultimately want to chuck my jig out, you know, pretty decent, because it's going to be coming back quick with this boat's momentum forward. If you go too quick, you get swept back really quickly, and you might be so quick you miss the bite altogether. But if you wait too long, the guys that do go before you will probably get the first bites. I got a lot of bites last night because I was early in the water. But when I was too early in the water, I got swept back quick, no bite, go back up for my second drop, get my bite there. So there's a timing thing that you start to figure out to be quick but not too quick, to ultimately get your jig down. And that's another subject that we want to keep talking about, is making sure your jig goes to where captain is calling out where they are in the water column, and then working your jig there and implementing some different tactics to work that range to get your bite there. If you pay attention to these elements, you absolutely will be successful jigging fish, both daytime and nighttime out here in California.
This captain, he's spot on. He is hyper focused on what he's doing. This dude is just dialed in. He's reading these screens, and there's nothing he wants more than to put fish on the deck. And if it took every last drop of blood in my body, Johnny Jigs was not gonna let this captain down.
Back it up, help him out.
And this is where things got crazy.
Get out, guys. Everyone, line up, let's go.
We pitch our jigs off the bow and then follow them back.
Coming down off the rail.
Now, we were at it pretty early, night 2, and we were able to get, I think we had 108 fish boat limit. Julian. No duh. When the fishing becomes, which is essentially a frenzy at night, you can eliminate a lot of these specialty rigging strategies. No, he's good.
Unbelievable. Chris just landed an over 100-pound fish. Complete chaos. The mates are just keeping us organized and shuffling the right way. They're making sure that we're not tangling, helping out where they can. Captain Aliyar made his way down. He's right there on the gaff. He's right there assisting us. All of the Johnny Jigs guys that are here have been telling me they're just having a great time. And you know what? It's a long ride. It's a lot of money we spent to get here, and it paid off in dividends tonight.
Dude, we got something big.
Fish count so far, we have 60 bluefins that have hit the deck, and the night's still young, so there's a good chance we could limit out. You never know.
All right, guys, wind him up here. The sea lion's got this fish. I'm gonna try to get it back to him. I'm gonna wind him on up. I'm gonna bump the boat forward and try to get it back.
Get down.
That night, I fished the whale from sundown to sunup. hooked up, baby. Yes, sir. A little bit of chaos.
You guys need to move your feet. Everyone needs
I gotta come down. I gotta come down.
to... There you go.
Coming down.
Nope, get up there.
Coming down, my man. Really big.
Get down.
That's what we're talking about right there.
Better. Back in the shit.
Get down. Get down. Get down.
Get down.
We filled that deck with more fish than I've ever seen in my life. I was whooped.
Get down.
Get down. Get down.
Get down.
The night bite was absolutely insane.
Get down.
We did what we wanted to do, and us coming from Florida, there was a lot of excitement to have an opportunity to drop on some rockfish the next day. I was not confident that we were gonna get there. Come Friday morning, we had the opportunity to go move a little bit in a 300 to 400 foot zone and drop some jigs on some rockfish.
I love the blood of a virgin rock.
my God, where's my top?
We got to break out our traditional slow pitch gear. This was a breath of fresh air, just to jump down to the lighter gear, do something that is very familiar to us back home, and bottom fish for rockfish.
First drop, first fish was a new species on the jig, a 22, 23 inch, just a keeper, blue lingcod. I was super stoked.
You good? I don't particularly, but I know James. No, I don't.
This becomes a lot of fun because it's not fishing like my father would say, it is catching that we're doing. The salmon groupers, I mean, there's gotta be thousands and thousands of them down there because you seem to catch one every time that you drop your jig. But there's other, delicious variety fish down there as well. I don't know the names of them all just because I'm not a local here, but the mates are pretty helpful and letting us know which ones we want to keep and which ones we don't. You gotta clean your lens though.
Rail's perfect for side saddling. Johnny does the Captain Morgan. I did the side saddle. Little grab of the gills. It's almost like you're a cannibal with that one drop 420. I believe that's a starry rockfish. Possibly not. I don't see any stars, but cool fish, very edible. Starry?
It's like they call it like rain block or something. That's Starry. Call it Starry.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say deuce.
Step to the right.
Call it
Step to the
Starry.
right. There we go. If you're not rotating, you're not jigging.
I just put the business end of this new Trinity rod on that fish. I'm pretty sure he actually tapped it one time and I didn't get him, but then the second time he freaking nailed it. So this is an action sample of a new rod that we're hoping to bring to the market called the Trinity. And what is neat about this rod is, number one, it has a neutral guide system. Number two, the blank is Daiwa technology. And the third thing, which really has me excited, is that it has an air guide system. And what that means is that the guides are not made out of metal on this rod. They're made of carbon fiber. I have been fishing action samples of this for almost a year now, changing layouts of it until we got it to exactly what we want. And you can see it does have an assist hook keeper here on the top, so it has utility in addition to being lightweight. The butt section has an EVA foam, which is long enough for it to sit inside of a rod holder and not rub up against the blank, which is the last thing that you want to happen. And we are very excited about this rod. We're very grateful for our partnership and relationship with Daiwa for building this rod with us. And we've got color, boys. A nice salmon grouper.
Chris says to give all your salmon groupers to number 16.
Whoever wants that can have it.
Number 16.
Okay. So we're gonna give away the salmon groupers. Number 16 is gonna get it. Well, this is bottom fishing, California.
Well, my last one came unglued, so I just went to town on this boy, gave him a nice hook up. Little whooping, good hook session. I think everyone getting hooked up all the way around the rail. Big vermilions coming up on the stern. Salmon groupers everywhere. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Real true slow pitch technique is working for these fish. And I get to try out my new rods. So I'm having a good time. Something interesting about these guys, just like back home, they blow up. Their tongues come out. You didn't get too much barotrauma, but they do get barotrauma. And this is a sought after fish here, and it's good to eat. So he's gonna be on an airplane back to Florida by tomorrow evening.
Butters, what'd you get? Wait, can you take a double picture? Me and Butters?
My name is Garfield. No, look at me, not him. My name is Garfield. I want you to know, send an SOS out. They're gonna eat me. I just want you to know this.
These fish are so much fun because it seems like as soon as you hit the bottom, you're hooking up on a fish. If not, then you get, you know, just a few pitches, get about halfway down the rail until your lure finds its way to the fish that want to eat it. Doing quarter turns like that, get about 2 full revolutions before I pop it and let it go down again. You guys will notice that the rod is across my forearm there, and that gives me one more range of motion if I need it. And then the second thing is I can use my elbow as kind of a lever to lift up on the lure. And then in addition to that, I'm able to use a lot more muscles whenever I'm slow pitch jigging. So if you put it on your arm here, you're just using this little muscle, your bicep, which is a small muscle in comparison to everything in your back when you do this. And so the power handle also assists in lifting the rod and pitching the jig. So I'm not just doing it with my right hand, I'm actually lifting with my left and my right. So my right is on the handle and I lift up just like that. Now all I need is a fish to cooperate. So I'm a little bit scoped out, and what happens whenever you get so far scoped out, you're not actually moving the jig as much as you think you are. You're more just kind of dragging it across the bottom. So at some point, once you're scoped out, you want to reel back in and just set again, and it increases your chances of getting tight on a fish.
There.
got a pair.
Oh wow.
Wowie, wowie.
Alright, you guys get your braid off my shit. Got a 2-for-1 special on rockfish. 1 drop.
Right?
The home of the JJ Valiant, made right here in California. Tasty treats for tasty times.
Right there, that's how it's done. California, baby.
Rock fishing was a big success. We got over 100 bluefin, over 100 rockfish. Headed back to shore, fat and happy. Nestor finished us off with steaks that were probably 1.5 inches thick, all of 20-something ounces. We got some rest on the way home, woke up at the dock to start divvying up the fish and let everything that we just experienced sink in.
So we hit the dock at 5 a.m. The mates already had the fish out and laid across the deck, which is fine because the temperature in San Diego, it's cool out. These fish are not burning on the deck. They've been taken care of very well to the touch. They're almost ice cold. Basically what happens is you grab a cart, tell the mate what the cart number is. He throws it in that cart. You push your cart up top and then the mates start bringing the fish out.
First cart of tuna right here. We got some nice braid. Just got back to the dock off the Polaris Supreme on our 3-day. Mission success. We got what I'm calling a double triple. Over 100 bluefin, over 100 rockfish, 1 ling caught by myself.
Yeah.
Incredible trip. This is one of the funnest parts of the journey, divvying all the fish out.
This will be pretty hard to ever top. Perfect weather, perfect crew, and amazing fishing.
Yeah.
And then you gotta pick that fish up and drag it to the number cone that matches the number that's on the fish, which matches the angler. And this takes teamwork. This is where everybody works together. So not only the crew on the boat, but this is where we get to do our part in sorting the fish and making sure everything flows seamlessly. And you get to admire your catch finally. All in a big stack, you know, right next to your cone, and really just look at these fish and say, man, I caught that. You know, I landed that fish. Not only did I land that fish, I landed that fish on my Johnny Jigs SJ Railer slow pitch gear using Johnny Jigs, our Pro Jigger hooks. And it's kind of an aha moment, like, man, our gear held up to some of the biggest beasts in the ocean.
We have these braided tuna assist hooks we came out with. You see there's some white threading and epoxy right over the eye of the hook. That has UV glow on it. People were using those. I really wanted to try the regular single assist hooks with it's got a lighter cord, and those worked so well that I never actually rigged with the braided hooks because I know they would hold up even better. And the fact that our 6.0 and 7.0 single hooks were holding up did for me everything I needed with this assist hook line.
I gotta say a big special thanks to Captain Aliyar, Captain Tanner, Captain Johnny, Captain Julian, Captain Ben, the chefs on the boat for putting up with us Florida boys from traveling across the country and coming over here with some crazy gear and just trying to do our thing on your boat. Huge thank you guys for putting up with us. We really enjoyed ourselves.
Bluefin tuna fishing out of San Diego, California on the Polaris Supreme is a A+ top class act, and I'm looking forward to setting this up again for us next year.
Any of the gear that you've seen in this video, you can find on johnnyjigs.com. Call our shop, ask us questions about it. We're happy to talk to you about jigging all day and all night.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook. Keep banging that bottom. Jig on.
All right, here we are. Our fish are all going to the processors. I'm William with Johnny Jigs. This is my future son-in-law, Chris Rudnick, fireman from Fort Angeles, Squim, Washington State. I invited him along to this trip. Chris, how'd you do? What do you think?
The hell of a time. A once-in-a-lifetime experience I'll never forget.
Right on. And we want to shout out to Emily, who's my daughter, sitting at home with the dogs, getting ready to have a ton of bluefin tuna coming her way. Love you, girl. See ya.